Good morning, Hot Topic and Fresh News listeners, on this crisp December morning, the 16th of the year 2023. We have some significant news to unpack today. Over in Brussels, Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban caused a political stir at the EU summit. In a shocking move, Orban threatened to block two crucial decisions on Ukraine. However, his stance did not halt the summit. With Orban stepping out, the other 26 EU leaders proceeded to vote, unanimously deciding to open membership talks with Ukraine. A wave of euphoria swept through the press room as the news broke. Despite this, Orban remained resolute, describing the decision as senseless and irrational. The drama didn't end there, though. Orban flexed his veto power for the first time, blocking a €50 billion aid package intended for Ukraine, a move that French President Emmanuel Macron condemned, urging Orban to act like a European. The plot thickens as Hungary's political director further claimed that it was the EU blackmailing Hungary, with €20 billion of funds being frozen due to concerns about human rights and corruption. Despite the diplomatic tensions, EU leaders expressed confidence in finding a solution by next year. The situation illuminates the complexities in EU decision-making and the challenge of balancing member state interests. As these events continue to unfold, we will keep you updated here on Hot Topic and Fresh News. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Hot Topic and Fresh News, your daily dose of all things news. I'm your host, Emily, here in the hustle and bustle of the city that never sleeps, New York. Joining me today, as always, is our brilliant commentator, David, tuning in straight from San Francisco. He brings an intelligent and insightful analysis to the table, making sense of complex topics and current affairs, helping us all understand the world a little better. If you're new here, or perhaps a seasoned listener, remember to subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, and don't forget to drop us a comment. We love hearing from you. Plus, sharing is caring. So do share our episodes with your friends and family. Your support is what keeps us up and running.
Hello everyone, it's good to be here again with Emily. Today's news, like always, is essential to understanding the unfolding events around the globe.
That's right, David. And today is no different. We've got a headline that took me by surprise, honestly. It's all about political wrangling in the EU and the key player, Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban. I assure you, you won't believe this one. So buckle in and stay tuned. It's a complex world, and news like this shapes the political and socio-economic landscape. It's important for all of us to stay informed, to understand the ripple effects of these decisions and how they might impact us. So without further ado, let's dive into the heart of the matter. Hot off the press.
So this political whirlwind in Brussels, quite a spectacle, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. This sort of political theater is rare, even for the EU. The spotlight was firmly on Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who is known for his close ties with the Kremlin.
There seems to be a power dynamic at play here. Would you say Orban is blackmailing the EU?
It certainly feels that way. His threats to block crucial decisions on Ukraine were seen by many as a form of political manipulation.
And it seems he's not afraid to use his veto power.
Absolutely not. This was the first time Orban has exercised his veto powers. He used them to block a substantial €50 billion aid package for Ukraine, which ruffled more than a few feathers.
But the EU leaders managed to reach a decision on Ukraine, right?
Yes, but not without some maneuvering. With Orban out of the way for a coffee break, the other 26 leaders proceeded with the vote, which was unopposed. It was a clever strategic move.
What does this mean for the EU?
It presents a challenge. EU decision-making is already complex, and having a member state potentially obstructing the process adds another layer of difficulty. But it also shows that the EU has the capability to work around such obstacles.
With such a dramatic start, it will be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Definitely. It's a situation we'll be closely monitoring here, and we'll bring you all the latest updates as they happen.
So, it appears the coffee break was in fact a strategic move.
Yes, it was. French President Macron later revealed that this so-called coffee break was a premeditated plan.
Interesting. And how did Orban react to the decision?
Orban was not pleased. He took to social media, describing the decision as senseless, irrational, and wrong. He justified his walkout by saying he had spent 8 hours trying to convince other EU leaders not to move forward.
I'd like to interject here, as this gives us some insight into Orban's political strategy. He's playing a long game. He knows that the EU membership process for Ukraine is fraught with complexities, and he still has ample opportunities down the line to block the process.
That's right. He has made it clear that he's not afraid to use veto power to get what he wants.
And he even blocked a €50 billion aid package to Kiev, right?
Yes, he did. This decision was met with strong disapproval from Macron and other EU leaders.
The political drama continues. Orban's political director claims that it's not Hungary blackmailing the EU, but the other way around.
Yes, it's a controversial claim, but it's clear that the relationship between Orban and the EU is fraught with tension and power struggles. It's certainly going to be an interesting story to follow.
It seems Hungary is using Ukraine's EU membership as a bargaining chip to access €20 billion of funds currently frozen due to human rights and corruption concerns. Is this correct?
That's one way to read the situation. Hungary's political director has implied that they are ready to cooperate if the EU unblocks these funds.
A quid pro quo, so to speak.
Precisely. But it's important to note that the EU is prepared to work around a potential Hungarian veto if necessary. There are mechanisms in place to provide bilateral funding to Ukraine outside the EU budget.
So essentially, the EU is signaling that it's prepared to stand by Ukraine, regardless of Hungary's stance.
Yes, it seems so. The EU is no stranger to navigating complex diplomatic situations and is determined to support Ukraine, a country facing conflict on the EU's own doorstep.
And I think that's a key point, isn't it? This isn't just about politics and money. There are real people, real lives affected by these decisions.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so critical to keep the human aspect of this story in focus. Despite the political wrangling, at the heart of this situation, there are real-world consequences for the people of Ukraine. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Hot Topic and Fresh News. We've taken a deep dive into the ongoing geopolitical drama involving Ukraine, Hungary, and the EU. Your engagement and curiosity truly fuels our work, so please subscribe, activate notifications, and join in the conversation with your comments. And remember, sharing is caring. Let your friends, family, and social networks know about our podcast.
Absolutely. Spread the word. The more the merrier, right? And hey, we're here every day, so make us a part of your daily routine. And oh, we've got some really intriguing stuff lined up. Just you wait.
We're grateful to have you all with us on this journey, and we're already looking forward to our next episode.
So, until next time, remember to, Emily and David, stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news, our channel's content will amuse.